Welcome back to another video podcast. In today's podcast, as we continue to pursue on the moments that matter in the employee journey, it's important to continue looking at the subtopics below this. And of course, there's so much value when it comes to retention, employee engagement, hiring, and so on. So we thought today we would bring you a special guest from the finance industry. Silvia, thank you so very much for joining us. Of course, Eric as well. Thank you, colleague and friend, to join us on this call. Maybe to start off, because Sylvia, as we have discussed in the past, the main topic today that we want to look into is implementing a holistic approach in your retention strategy, which is something we had the chance of discussing with you in the past. I think it's going to be great to deep dive in that. But for our audience, let's start off with an introduction from your side and a few short words.
Sure. Gosh, I've been doing HR for over 22 years. I'm very passionate about it. I feel very lucky to be able to lead a department that creates change, that identifies gaps, and allows people to develop into a further professional growth. I've been in the finance industry for about over 2 years. Prior to that, I've done behavioral health for 10 years. I've done entertainment HR, legal HR. So I have a little experience almost in a lot of the different industries that we have.
That's pretty cool, and it must be really interesting to be able to see the difference from the legal industry and the finance. It must be quite different also in the finance. Would you say? How does it look like in regards to the main challenges to recruiting, but for instance, in that area?
Yeah, recruitment, as we all know nowadays, is a challenge. But me having the background in different industries, I can tell you in finance, there is a very special challenge in the skill gap. And not necessarily that people are not interested in pursuing a career in finance in the banking industry, credit union world, but to obtain certifications or the education, it may be costly when they can go through and work at a different place that is paying more and you don't necessarily need the requirements, right? Then on top of that, you have to meet background requirements, meaning that you have to have some type of credit, right? It has to be at a good level. And then if you think about it, because of the pandemic, a lot of people were in a good financial space, right? So maybe the credit score dropped or maybe couldn't make a payment. So all those things come into play. I'm not saying that automatically we wouldn't allow someone to apply or we hire someone because of that. But those are challenges that we have to really look into because, again, people are dealing with money. So we do have to look into that. And then you look at the criminal, of course, experience, so on and so forth. So that's very unique to the financial industry. Another thing will be meeting some of the pay demands. Prior to the pandemic, we had a very steady compensation, I will say, product to offer. But now employees are asking for more above the midpoint, which it makes sense in some of the areas, some of the positions, but in some others, like the entry levels, you not necessarily can always pay that because, again, those who are applying don't have necessarily all the skills or experience. So those are some of the challenges that we are facing in the industry. Another challenge is that we have all kinds of generations, right? So you have younger, middle age, older, and all of them have different needs. So we have, very gratefully and thankfully, we have in our company, Foothill, we have all kinds of generations. So what that made me do and think about was like, okay, what are we offering to retain them? Because again, older generations want something different than your younger ones. So how can I, in a way, combine them and be able to offer everything, a little bit of everything to everyone? So through that, I started exploring creating a more like a holistic approach to our benefits, our development, our conversations, our communication. And I saw that gave us a really positive result, not only with one specific workforce, but with our entire company.
What for me is super interesting, and I think this is just out of my personal interest. Can you give the biggest difference between the current generations we are facing? So I'm not talking about the boom generation, but more myself, the millennials, and the Generation Z. What's the biggest difference there? What do they want out of just money? But what do they want? What
It is more a sense of belonging, a sense of contributing to something bigger than just the day to day. So, for example, here, of course, we have KPIs, right? Key performance indicators that we have to meet, metrics, right? And those are very obvious. You know them once you start working, you know what are those goals that you need to hit. But so then what? What's after that for the younger generations? Are you saying like, so what? You beat them and what creates, what comes out of meeting those goals? For us at Foothill Credit Union, we're doing go back and invest into our members, right? So how do I make that connection? How do I allow my younger workforce to understand that, yes, we need you to make the metrics. We are going to pay you for that. But in addition, your contributions, whether they're tangible or intangible, are creating a bigger sense of purpose to our members. Because again, in the days that we're living now, housing is super expensive here, right? Food, all these other basic needs. So what happens is that if our team members meet those goals and create the products that we need, guess what? Our members are able to sustain their household, buy a home. Maybe the car is broken and they need a new one and they cannot afford it. Well, because we're creating this impact financially and offering lower rates, our employees are feeling like, yeah, I'm creating a sense of help to others so they can sustain their household or whatever. If they want to go on vacation, whatever that personal goals that they have, they're contributing in that way. And then we give back to the community. So it's about, aligning all of that.
Yes. Any, just again, pure my interest, some out of the box emerging trends or innovative practices you can
That you
state, you
could
can you
share.
can tell
Mhm.
about, yeah.
Absolutely. I want you, we need to think about the holistic approach about, then I'll dive into that, but it's considered not just the technical skill of the employee, but you also need to invest time in the employee's personality, the values, overall fit, right? And how can you do that? Well, you have to again take a moment to think, what am I offering? How am I developing? So you cannot just offer physical benefits, right? Meaning like medical insurance, dental insurance, vision insurance. Now you really have to take a step back and say, am I really seeing the person as a whole? Am I offering benefits for their mental health, right? Am I offering a product or a service that addresses the needs? But you need to go a step further. Am I addressing those needs just for my employee? But what about their families, right? So, for example, there's something called employee access program in which you allowed the employee to bring their household members into the plan and they can receive the benefits as well. And there's no additional cost or anything, but they can access financial tool resources. So if someone is having a financial hardship, and they want to work in their budget, they have better ways of doing that. They have tools, they have either education or coaches, financial advisors, and then you have the social. A lot of the times as employers, we think of retention is just money, right, in the basic benefits, but then they also have a life outside of work. So, but because they invest so much time at work, what are you doing as an employee? What are you offering to ensure that social well-being is social maintained, right? So you offer, of course, flexible schedules, but within that flexible schedule, what is it that you are saying? I'm gonna give you this so you can do and take care of yourself, but one thing is to say and another thing is to offer. So in that case, we started offering, of course, hybrid positions in the office. Of course, we're a financial industry. There's some positions that we just cannot allow them to work from home. So we have hybrid. So you have to be kind of creative on what is it that you're going to offer to make sure that you retain them. And once you do that, how you maintain them and how you keep everyone engaged, right? Because you have some people doing hybrid, some days in the office, some days at
Mhm.
home, then some 100% at home, right? So how do you do that social? So one of the things that we created here is something that we call the events committee. And that group people, I lead that group alongside with my CTO. And what we do is we come up with events for team members that can participate and come if they're working from home. Like for example, soon we're gonna have a bowling game, right? And it's just us employees. We just had a Dodger game in July, and you can bring your families. Then sometimes we do all staff meetings, right? And then we have trivia games within. It's just thinking about ways to engage everyone, utilizing methods that are not just for the younger, the older, but everyone, right, can participate. And then you have the communication. Not everyone listens or hears the same way. So how can I retain the ones who like more interactive communication? And how can I retain those who really don't want to hear about you? Just tell me what you need to tell me, and then I can do my job. So for that, for example, we came up with something that we call the updates with our CEO. And those are videos. And we go throughout the entire company and record things that they're doing, so everyone is aware of what everyone else is doing. Then another thing that we're doing is breakfast with our CEO. Our CEO is very engaging and wants to make sure that we all are communicating. We all get to know each other a little bit, whether you work at home or here. So all of that creates that sense of belonging, a sense of I matter, a sense of like I can give my feedback. I can say something that it will make a difference.
First of
That's
all,
a lot of information, I gotta say.
yes, but what I want to
And
see is the energy I'm feeling here. You really like your job, and that's
I love what I
it's
do.
exactly.
it's so cool to see. So congrats, and look
Thank
at
you.
you. You're like hyped,
I
beautiful.
love,
Lighting up, yeah.
sorry, I
What
love, I
what
really like to make, you know what is the thing that I want people to remind me by when I die, is that I created opportunities, whether that was something tiny for in my family's life, my daughter's life, or my staff's, doesn't matter. I want to be remembered by someone who created an opportunity for someone. Yes, I do love what I do.
ah,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
it's
And
nice.
because I will not I will not enforce the audience in regards to that, so they were very happy when you are. Let's not rush that, please. But it is a beautiful phrase. But I really, what you mentioned in regards to the holistic approach and also how your company is presenting it, there's quite a few points. There is the sense of belonging, there's the communication, but
Mhm.
communication, understanding how communication is different from a C level, from a different generation. You've covered so many topics, and it's almost like, how do you ensure that this structure doesn't end up, if you don't mind me saying, all over the place in a certain way,
Right.
because there's just so much, right?
Yes. So for that, to ensure that you are able to sustain what you say or you preach, you're giving, right?
Mhm.
You have to be able to have a very good team. And when I say team, it's not just my team, right? I'm talking about our executives. So when we have sessions, everything starts at the top. And I'm very lucky to have a really good partnership with my CEO. Um, he truly allows me to do what I love to do, right? So by that, when we have meetings, it's about holding everyone in that room accountable to trickle down the communication. So we do it this way. We do it through the executive meetings. We have management meetings, right? We have all team meetings. But in addition to that, we have something that we call the state of the credit union. And what
Okay.
that is we
Yeah.
come together twice a year, everyone over breakfast. And during the beginning of the year, we talk about the things that we are going to do, the projects, who's what we're doing, promotions, all this stuff, right? Comes July, we say, hey, this is where we are, this is what we're able to achieve. But it's not us presenting that part, that second time, it's our managers, because they're the ones who are doing the work, right? We are
Mhm.
leading that
Yep.
work, but they're doing it. So they're the ones who come and present and say, yes, guys, we were able to achieve, we were not able to achieve. And communication is so key. And like you said, it's so broad, and you have to engage everyone. Like I said, not everyone likes to listen the same way or to convey a message the same way, right? So we have to be very, very creative, whether it's a video.
Please, I'll let you
Oh,
finish your
oh,
phrase, but we are coming to the last few seconds, so go ahead.
okay, whether it's a video, an email, or in person, that's how we do it.
Just a yes or no.
Beautiful.
Do you feel that your background, your diverse background in HR helps you with this to find this creative way?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The fact that I've been in, whether this entertainment industry, the legal, behavioral definitely helps a lot and help me understand people, right? For sure, it helps me.
Beautiful. As we arrive on the last 20 seconds, I do want to mention this. I think for anyone who's looking for a job in your same industry as you, seeing how passionate you are about your job and how passionate and love you share for your company, I think I can proudly say it out there to our audience. If you're looking for a job in that industry, feel free to send out your CV, because you can also see from the other side of just the computer job offer. For the rest of the audience, thank you so much for joining us on this podcast. A massive thank you to our partner, Luta One, as well, as always. And we look forward to seeing you in the next upcoming podcast. Thank you very much.